Victoria knew Ted would end up with Robin. While that's an impossible statement to make, with Victoria being a fictive character that never outs these words literally, the writers knew fully well how the series would end while writing Victoria. Knowing Ted would eventually meet the mother, only to end back up with Robin, the writers had to write Victoria out of the equation of Ted's love life at some point. Season 1 handled this pretty well. Victoria is introduced as what seems to be the ideal girlfriend for Ted. She's a hopeless romantic, just like Ted, and she conveys this not only with her drumroll metaphor, but also in the way she lovingly stares at Ted with every romantic gesture he makes. Their chemistry is undeniable, and she's apparently been voted as Ted's most liked girlfriend by the viewers. So how do you excuse her for not being the mother? Her leaving for another country felt like the only way to write her out of the series. She and Ted would naturally drift apart, which is the only excuse for this lovely woman not becoming the mom. Unfortunately, because sitcoms need some drama to weigh against the comedy, Ted and Victoria don't naturally drift apart. Ted almost immediately falls back to Robin when Victoria leaves, hooks up with her before having the decency to break up with Victoria, and ends up losing both the girls. I tend to get pretty frustrated with people that cheat, so this part was pretty hard to sit through for me. This isn't a good look for the protagonist of our series. Lily tells Ted how jumping the gun on his relationship with Robin would make the entirety of their relationship feel dishonest. What would future Ted think about that? Seeing as how he, and Barney for that matter, failed multiple times in cementing their relationship with Robin before Ted gets with her in the end. Talk about dramatic irony. But anyway, the cast seemed to have forgotten about Victoria, and so did I along the way. We already know she isn't the mother, so her reappearing wouldn't really add anything to the story anyways. She's gone from the series, with just the memory of those lovely few episodes remaining. Until she does reappear, 6 seasons later. Ted tells the gang how he ran into her at a party she catered. At this point, this felt like fan service. Of course I was happy to see my favorite girl again. It's just sad that Ted and her won't get back together since he cheated. Okay, they kissed, but they agree that it's a mistake. And she's getting married. This is fine. The episode actually handles this slip up very well. Victoria takes the bus back to her fiancé, while Ted reflects on what could have been if he hadn't cheated on Victoria. Then, with the following sentence, Victoria foreshadows the ending of the series, which I can't believe I missed at my first sit-through.
There is a reason that it didn't work out between you and me. And I'm willing to bet it's the same reason none of your other relationships in the last 6 years have lasted either. It's Robin.
No.
Yes. She is so much bigger in your world than you realize.
You've got it all wrong.
I'm right about that. Goodbye, Ted.
It's so obvious in hindsight that what Victoria is saying here would eventually summarize the entire series. I know we all dread those last few minutes of How I Met Your Mother, but the fact that it was planned from the start means that moments like these weren't written coincidentally. But it gets worse. Somehow, the writers thought that it would be a good idea for Ted and Victoria to get together anyway. After Ted reflects on all of his relationships, he comes to the conclusion that Victoria was perfect for him. He calls her and meets up with her on her wedding day. He decides to steal her for himself, which again is in conflict with what Lily told him back in season 1. The series somehow tries to explain to us that what Ted did is forgivable, because Victoria's fiancé Klaus seems to be dealing with the same situation. Once more, it's spelled out for us that Ted's relationship with Victoria won't amount to anything, because it isn't a gut feeling. At first I thought that having Victoria around again would be fun. The series hooked me with its story, but I kept watching because it's just so damn funny. Victoria and Ted's chemistry was undeniable, so having her around for another season should be enjoyable to watch, even though it makes no sense from a writing standpoint. And then they just skip the entire fun part of their relationship. Victoria plays the girlfriend holding a grudge trope, with no sign of her actual character from previous seasons. From the very start of their relationship, aside from us still knowing Olivia wouldn't be the mother, the running gag of the autumn of breakups keeps reminding us that this relationship is doomed to fail. This is not only horrible writing, it's just straight up disrespecting the fans. The cherry on top, is that Ted engages to Victoria only to have her choose between her and Robin, and Ted chooses to stay friends with Robin. If the, according to Ted himself, perfect girl can't win from Robin, how would the inevitable mom be able to? Well, she wasn't able to win. Yes, they got married and they got kids, but Victoria was right. Somewhere along the way, there would always be Robin, the girl Ted ultimately wants. I still hold fond memories of watching How I Met Your Mother, and I'm also rewatching it in quarantine right now. The running gags are great, and now that I already know the ending, it's interesting to see the ways the writers incorporated foreshadowing like this. But just, damn it, disrespecting my girl like that. Come on, man. Anyways, this has been Marth Lucky. See you in another video.